Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite videos, which is if you liked this book, then you might like this book. So basically helping you decide what to read next based on a book that you previously enjoyed. I haven't done one of these videos in a little bit. I'm always like, I should do them more often, and then I keep on planning them, and then it just, I don't know, it takes me a really long time to film them, so I will try and do them more frequently, but I do have some really great matches here and some books that I think you would super enjoy, so super excited to get into these. But today's video is kindly sponsored by Native Deodorant, so thank you so much to them for working with me once again. I have been using Native Deodorant for a while now, and I have 3 new scents here. So this is a clean deodorant product. It is paraben free, aluminum free, and just really good for you, and it works super well. I have been going back to the gym, getting back into working out, and I have been sweating like I sweat a lot, but I feel fresh and clean and not stinky, which is really nice. So it definitely withstands that very difficult test. Their products feature simple ingredients that you know, and like I said, they are paraben free, sulfate free, and aluminum free, so they are just all around great, and they are vegan and cruelty free, which is so great. One of my favorite things is that they're not sticky at all, because I can't stand that, and the scents are so lovely. So here I have coconut and vanilla, and then from their new Jungalow collection I have paradise flower and amber, and finally tangerine and citrus blossom. They actually also sent me tangerine and citrus blossom in a body wash, which is so awesome. It smells delightful. And then I also got their toothpaste, which is super cool. So they have a charcoal with mint detoxifying toothpaste and a whitening one that is wild mint and peppermint oil, and these are really nice. I've been using them and quite enjoying it. It's just super nice that Native now has products for pretty much all of your personal care needs, so you can use clean products for whatever you need, and you can feel fresh and clean and just lovely and know that you're using something that is good for you. So 3 deodorants are normally $36, but if you click the link in my description box down below and use the code that will be on the screen here, you can get 33% off. So you'll get them all for $24, and you can also get 20% off of any toothpaste or body wash. So thank you so much to Native for working with me once again. Be sure to check them out in the description box down below. I have books everywhere like paired up for this. If you liked this, then you'll like this video, so I don't even really know where to start, but I guess we will just start here actually, because I only have one of the books on me. So this first one, if you liked City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, I'm sure you know where this is going, but you might like Legend Born by Tracy Dion. So City of Bones and Legend Born have in common the fact that they are an urban fantasy that deals with like demons, and they just kind of have very similar vibes to them. So in Legend Born, it's an Arthurian, is that a word? I don't know, but I'm making it. It's like a King Arthur sort of based magic system, and in City of Bones, it is like, obviously that's a very popular book, but it is like a demon sort of based magic system, but they have a similar vibe in the action scenes, in the fight scenes, and in the relationships. I will say this one deals with grief very heavily, but it does it super well, and I feel like I really enjoy City of Bones. I just have my copy at my parents' house, but I feel like I really enjoy this one because it has a little added element of dealing with the loss of a parent and that being super prevalent to the story. They both also have great characters. I love the main characters in both of them, and honestly they are a lot of fun to read and completely transport you to like a world that is like ours but different, where there's some magic going on. So it's nice to see the culture shock almost that each of these characters faces as they realize that the world that they live in isn't actually what it seems, and I think both of these books deal with that in kind of a similar way, and definitely if you like City of Bones, this would be a great one to move on to. So next up, if you liked Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, I think that you would really enjoy The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Clune. So I talked about this in a recent reads video, and I made that comparison because I really feel like this is Miss Peregrine's but for adults, and they do have like different things, but it's the fact that it's a school where you have these children with peculiarities or magical abilities, and in House on the Cerulean Sea you have a character who is coming to see this orphanage to make sure that the children are being treated well, and you see him as he's like dealing with all the powers that these children have, and he's like trying to make sense of it all, kind of. In this world, they are facing a lot of discrimination because of the abilities that they have. It's like they are kept in these orphanages to keep them away from like regular society. So it definitely is this kind of othering that's happening, but they also have this magical world of having these abilities, and the dynamics between these children totally reminded me of Miss Peregrine's. You have these peculiar children who have all of their peculiarities and quirkiness, and it comes out individually, but also when they're all in a group. That's really where I think both of these books shine. Also, the character of Miss Peregrine is kind of comparable in a way to, I can't think of his name right now actually, Arthur. It's kind of comparable to Arthur in the fact that like they are overseeing their children and they care so deeply for them and protecting them. In here you get a little touch of a great romance. It is so adorable, and in here I wasn't a big fan of the romance, but it does exist. Like I feel like if you liked this one as a younger kid, then you would probably really enjoy this one. They just have that similar world. This one has a little bit more whimsy, is a little bit more uplifting, but they both are really great reads that I enjoyed. Next up, if you enjoyed Caraval by Stephanie Garber, I think you would really like Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. So this one I also think would be a good one if you liked The Night Circus, but these are both kind of circusy, whimsical stories, but they're not like strictly a circus. It's just these abilities in this magical world where you don't really know what's up and down. You have a competition and a game sort of plot line in each, and this journey where it's very mysterious. You're trying to figure out what's happening and you don't really know. Like there's very mysterious figures in it that you want to learn more about, and things are like slowly and methodically revealed to you as you go on with both of these stories. I think if you just want something to transport you to this world that like honestly you are just like what's up, what's down, like I have no clue what's happening, these are both really great books to go with. I will say this one kind of confused me a little bit more than this one. I just felt like there was a ton of mystery, and I'm eager for the sequel because I feel like it was kind of setting up for that in the end. However, I think that there was like a very vibrant and interesting world in each of them, and you have that mystery element, the game element, and a character who is faced with this really kind of complicated situation, but they definitely both take you on a very interesting journey. Next up, if you enjoyed The Cruel Prince by h.leblanc, you should definitely try out Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. Both of these stories deal with fae at their forefront. This one is more of a low urban fantasy, and this one is definitely more of a high fantasy, but they are both like with fae at the center of it. Now, I did kind of prefer this one. I wasn't the biggest fan of this book. Like I did really like it, but I think my expectations were a little high, but this one I really haven't heard that much about, and it was a really fun ride. Like the writing is so awesome and just a blast to read about, and you have some really great romances. Like the main character ends up going to find this ancient fae relic, and it turns out that that fae relic is actually a fae prince himself, and their relationship and everything was so amazing. And in this one you have like the clashing of worlds with this fae world and the world that we know, and I think both of these books do really excel with the fae storyline and also having an interesting romance. Like, I know a lot of people love the romance in this one. I kind of had like mixed feelings about it, but the romance in this one is honestly so, so great. And I think if you're looking for more fae in your life, you should definitely try this one out. It has a super cool magic system as well that's like object-based with mirrors. It's just very interesting, so definitely check it out. Next up, if you enjoyed Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, you should definitely try out You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. So in both of these stories, you have characters that are kind of breaking into a world that doesn't really accept them and want them there, and they are shaking things up and showing everyone who like is okay with the customs how those customs aren't okay. So in Dumplin', you have a character who is plus size, and she is entering into this pageant that it's never really accepted people who look like her, and she is showing how wrong that is and how everyone is beautiful. And in You Should See Me in a Crown, you have a black character who is also queer, and she is breaking into this prom competition. So kind of a pageanty thing there as well, but this prom competition has some really antiquated, I can never say that word, but some really like terrible rules surrounding it, and she is like doing it to try and get a scholarship. So she does have motive behind it, but at the same time she is like exposing the flaws which are very necessary to be exposed in this competition that she's entering. So it is both like really great main characters that you can totally root for and get behind, who are shaking up a system that definitely needs shaking up. They're doing it in a different way, but I loved both of these books. They were a lot of fun, great writing, adorable romances in each. Like You Should See Me in a Crown has the cutest romance, and I just loved seeing these two characters come together, even though no one really wanted them to. Like, it's really not accepted in their small conservative town. These two girls come together, and it's just lovely to see that. So super enjoyed both of these, and definitely if you liked one, you would really like the other. Next up, if you enjoyed The House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, I think you would also like Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. So these are both stories that deal with like the sea and the ocean and that setting very much at the forefront. That is like, you are totally transported to the seaside in each of these stories, and they both have a magical element. So this one is a high fantasy sort of horror story, and this one is more of a magical realism. So they both deal with some like really important and difficult topics at their forefront, and I think they did a really good job of that. And sisterhood is also a very prevalent topic. So in this one, it's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and you're following one of the sisters after all of her other sisters, like not all of them, but a lot of them have been dying under mysterious circumstances. So she is looking further into that, and that sisterly bond is super important throughout that story. And in this story, you are following twin sisters, and it has that magical element where the one sister is exhibiting powers and the other isn't, but that sisterly bond is totally at the forefront. So definitely both really great books that I enjoyed, and they are similar but also super different because, like, obviously this one's a magical realism, this one's a high fantasy, but I think that they are both totally worth the read, and especially if you are looking for something with sisterhood and with that oceanic element, like something with a nautical theme, these two are great. Next up, if you enjoyed The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones, you should definitely try out Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. So these are both stories that are set in like this forbidden forest, and you follow characters venturing into that space. And there is also this, like, the monsters are kind of similar. You have like this reanimated, I don't want to say like reanimated corpse, but like even the description of them, like these previously dead characters that come back to life and are like haunting almost. It is quite similar in both of these stories. Now, they do also have a lot of different elements in them. Like this has a fox as a prevalent main character. It has a lot of royalty in it, and this one like has a little bit of that, but not like so much. So I think if you're looking for a forest, natural, woodsy sort of story, these two are great. And also something kind of Halloween-y, like they fit with Halloween because of that reanimation sort of thing. Sort of like a zombie story, but like not gross, because I don't generally like zombies, but I did enjoy both of these books. So if that sounds intriguing to you, like, I feel like this one reads like a folktale, like a story you would kind of tell around a campfire, and this one reads like sort of a darker, natural, modern fairy tale, I guess. I don't know if that really makes sense, but the point is, I think you would like both of these books. And finally, if you enjoyed Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, you should check out Don't Read the Comments by Eric Smith. So these two stories deal with social media and the impact that it can have on things and relationships in particular. And in Tweet Cute, you have two like characters who they are the children of rival, not really rival, like the one is a daughter of this big like McDonald's sort of corporation fast food chain, and then the other is this small like mom and pop sort of store deli where the one they steal the recipe, and then they get into this like meme war on Twitter, and they are also like forming a relationship in real life, but they don't know it, and it's very fun to watch. The writing is awesome and super witty and just very enjoyable. And in this one, you are following a main character who is actually a famous streamer, and it deals with like gatekeeping in the gaming community for females, particularly female people of color. But she is also connecting with this other character, and they are like dealing with things in their outside life, but in the game they can come together and have this great relationship form. So social media is super prevalent in both of these, kind of like a modern romance, and really liked both of them and the writing for both of them. So those are all of the recommendations that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope that this helped you out if you had read one of these books and you were looking for something to read next. But thank you so much much once again to Native Deodorant for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check them out in the link down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!